So hi guys, today we are going to discuss about cascading of dropdown list in ASP.NET. So let's jump to our Visual Studio. So before jumping to the Visual Studio guys, I just want that you to understand that what we are trying to do now. So we have department table and we have another table is employee table. So based on department ID, we want to display the employees. So you can say that in different departments, different employees will be there, right? So in third department, that is IT department, we can say this, there are two people are there, two employees. And in our first department, ECE, we have three people, right? So this is how we want to show in our drop-down list. Means whenever the user select EC department, then he should able to see in another drop-down list EC department related employees. If we selected IT department, then IT related employees he need to see it. So this is our intention. Okay. Now for that we required first data, right? So if I go to my Visual Studio, you can see this. We already have got all this model classes, right? And the controller, and even we got context class. So if you remember that we have seen database first approach, right? Two times we have seen it. One is like, especially we focus on understanding database first approach to show the data in a table. Another is by using a drop-down list. So the person who has came first time here, please go to this playlist and there you will find that ASP.NET Core bind data to the drop-down list from database. So if you go with this particular drop-down list recording video, so here you will get all the steps to get the data from the database. Okay. Now we focus just binding the data with the department table to the drop-down list, and based on that department, we will bring the data in another drop-down list. Okay. So let's take this particular home controller, and in this home controller, we have a index method, right? So in this index method, what we'll do is, so we can see this, we have an employee context, right? So we can use this employee context like this. We'll create an object of employee context, baby equal to new employee context, which I can take it. And with this employee context, what I will do is, I will take simple one viewback dot department. Okay. So this is a department, I'm taking it, new select list. In that new select list, the first thing which I want is db dot department details. So this is our department table, we have it. So if you use db dot departments, so we'll get all the department details. So that is nothing but department ID and department name. Okay. First of all, guys, you should see that how to bind the data from the database to the drop-down list. If you not seen that, then this is, you are not going to understand this. Okay. So first see that. Okay. Now after this, you can just say like comma, and we can have like some department ID and department name for us. Okay. So data value field and data text field. So for us, the field is DEPT ID and DPT name. So DEPT ID, comma, DEPT name. Okay. So this is what we can see here. Okay. So viewback dot department table. So this is our viewback where we'll have all the departments. Okay. Now what we need to do is we just need to copy this, and or just this is also enough for us, and we can go and to our view page here. In this view page, we will say like @HTML dot drop down list, and here we'll go for, in double quotes, DPT. Okay. So if we say like this means now you can see this, we will get the department details. Okay. So let me run this, Control F5. So it's running now. We can see this, we got like two departments, EC and IT, which you can see here, EC and IT. So what we did, we just have wrote this view bag name DPT at the rate HTML dot dropdown list we have taken, and we just wrote the view bag name DPT. And you can just see that view bag dot DPT. So this name you need to write it there, right? Then automatically with that name, the select list of item like department, all the department ID and department name will be binded there. Okay. So our first task is done. Now we need to create another drop down list. So that's what we need to do it. So another drop down list which we are going to take is at the rate HTML dot drop down list we are going to take it. Okay. Now this drop down list which we are taking here is basically for employee names. Okay. So this is what we are going to take it. Now after this employee names, what we need to do, we are going to take here, if you see this is our capital D, yeah, drop down list, employee name we are going to take it, and here we are going to take new. See, basically our task is very simple. If you go and check it here, we have only one department, right? So that's why you are able to see that in our uh, first drop down list we are taking just a DPT, right? And now you are just taking another drop down list with the EMP name. Obviously, when we are taking this employee name, we need to display the employee name drop down list. But in that employee name drop down list, we don't need to show the data for us, right? So for that purpose only, we are going to write here new. Now this new we are going to take as a second parameter. Okay. And in that string option label is there. We are not looking for it. We are looking for this. Okay. Where we are going to have like selected list of item. So this selected list of item this time is going to be empty. To make it empty selected list of items, we are going to write here string.empty. Okay. That's what we are going to write it. Obviously, a selected list of items will ask you like text and value field, right? So obviously for this, the text which we are going to write here is, so let me write here it as emp id and comma emp name. Okay, that's what you need to write it. If you see this, what we have made here, emp id and emp name, right? So in this emp id and emp name, so what is that error we are getting if you see it here? So we are taking selected list of item, right? So do we need to take selected list of items or we need to take selected list, right? Yeah, that's what we need to take it. Now, then we can close this like this. Okay. So till now we didn't have job, like two drop down lists we have taken, right? Now we will save this. And when we come to our browser, or else let's go to, or I name this 1 second. We just now stop, right? Now let's see that will we get any drop down list or not? Now in our home/index, we'll find two drop down lists. So we have done till now two things. One is we have wrote one code for department showing the department, and employee name is empty as of now. Okay, you because empty we passed. Okay, take new select list instead of selected list of items. Now you can say this. Simple now. Simple, buddy, very simple. Now, what is the next job? Now, whenever the user select department ID, based on that, employee name should be binded here. Okay, employee name should be binded here. So to do that one, we need to add one script tag. So in that script tag, we are going to call Ajax call. Okay. Now, obviously, if I want to use Ajax, so I need to take some scripts. So in our MVC core, the script will be basically under the www root folder. Okay. So there you will have like some library. Inside that we have like jQuery min.js. So this one I can drag and drop it here. Okay. So let me drag and drop here. Okay. Let me close this. It's opened, but I don't want it to open. So let me cancel this. Let me save this once again. Now once again I will try to drag and drop it once again. Yeah, that's good, very good. Okay. Now we can go for $. Ajax method. So this is Ajax method, you need to take it. So Ajax method basically contain some parameters. See, basically it's a method. Okay. If you just remove this and if you understand that this is just a method. Okay. This is just a method. Nothing it is just a method. Okay. So in this method, what we are going to find is we are going to find some parameters. Okay, we are going to write some parameters. So the first parameter which we are going to write. So we are going to write first parameter is some URL like this. So URL we are going to write it. The second parameter which we are going to write is type. Okay. So type we are going to write it. So the URL which I'm going to write it here, that will be like one method I'm going to hit it, which basically going to take department ID, and based on the department ID, it should give me the employee names. That is what I'm expecting here. Okay. Now for that purpose, what we are going to do is type we have given, right? And of course, we need to give some data. That data is basically is going to hold like some ID for us. Okay. So that is also we are going to give it. And we are going to give some success. So if success happen, what we want to do it. So that's what we are going to write in the function like this. Okay. Now, so what are the things we did? We just wrote Ajax method. We wrote URL. We wrote type. We wrote data, and success also we wrote it. So till here we are clear, right? We are clear with this. Now, even we need to mention one more thing, like we are making a request, right? So whether that request is like XML type, JSON type, that also we need to make it. So even for that also, we can just write some data type. Okay. So that request also we can make it here. Now we can have like comma again. Okay. So let's see like what are the things which we can do it. Now URL, if you want to use the URL, okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to write @URL dot action method you're going to write it. Okay. So this action method is basically going to help you. Okay. So it's basically going to help you to get the data. So get employees. So this is a method which we are going to hit it. Okay. So this is a method which we are going to hit it. Okay. Now second is type. I just want to make this particular method as a get request method. And type is or data type, the request which I want to make it as a JSON type request. Okay. So how I can make a JSON type request? That's a question. So you just need to write as XML, you write it, just write JSON there. Okay. Now data is basically there we are going to specify something here. Okay. So here we are going to say as an object, as a parameter, we are going to pass it here. So ID we are going to pass. This is ID variable which we are going to pass to this get employee method. Okay. And the ID, and we are trying to select this DEPT. Okay. So this is our DEPT which we are going to select. So dollar. So we are going to use jQuery to select first this value. For that hash, this is what we are going to select at DEPT. Now in this DEPT, so we are going to say option selected. Okay. This is what we are going to write it. Okay. So if the user, whatever the user is there, he is going to select whatever the from that department ID. So this is the ID of this drop-down list. Okay. So whatever the first parameter you're going to write it, it is also going to help us to generate ID and name. So hash DPT is nothing but the name of this particular department ID. Okay. Now, even if you're not understanding it, you just go and say like view page source, you will find this. There is like one ID is a DPT ID. So this DPT ID, we are going to use this DPT ID and we are going to, yeah, this DPT ID, we are going to use it, and whatever we are selecting it. So based on that selecting, we are going to get the value. So just write here value method. That's it. Okay. So that's what you're going to write it. Okay. Now when the success happen, then you will get result. Just write result here. Okay. Now with this result, how we will get the result, we'll see it. Okay. So till here we have done something. Okay. Now let me show you like by creating this method also, some JSON method also we'll try to create it. Okay. So let's come here and let's public JSON result. We are going to take it like this, and we are going to say like return JSON. This is what we are going to do it. Okay. Now here we have like this db dot instead of department. Okay. Obviously, I need to have like one integer question mark ID, and here where employees, I will get it. Okay. So to get this employees, what I will do is I will take here db dot employee detail table dot where condition, in that x such that x dot department ID is equal to ID. Okay. So based on this department ID, which I'm going to pass it here, if it is the department ID is equal to the ID, which I'm going to get it. So based on that employees, I'm going to return it. So these employees as a first parameter, I'm going to write it here like this. Now after that, see, I just want to return some selected list of employees. So I'm just going to say like new select list. That's what I'm going to say it. Okay. And here I will close this. So that's what I'm going to do it. S is capital letter. Make sure that you should write capital letter there. So this is the first parameter where I will get all the data of employees. Now, see this, you can see this, right? Similar to this. here, but here we'll get employees after filtering with ID. Now we'll have empid, comma. So this is empid will be the value field, and text field is going to be emp name. Emp name we want to display it. Okay, that's what we are looking for it. Okay, now just select this, and we'll keep a breakpoint here also. Let's come here and Control Shift F. I'm going to do it. Okay. Now the question arises here in our index.html. We wrote this Ajax method, right? But this Ajax method is going to be called when this Ajax method is going to be called. So whenever the user is selecting, right? See, first of all, we need to understand it when we want to call that particular Ajax method. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to call when the user is going to change the department. Okay. We just wrote the Ajax call method when the user is going to click in department ID. We want this employee names to be displayed. As of now, it is empty, right? But here I just wrote Ajax method, which is going to hit to the employee method, get uh, the selected, take the ID also with it. Okay. Selected department ID also, it will take it. And it will go to this method. Definitely it will go. But how this code is going to be invoked and when it need to be invoked? See, it is need to be invoked on some special case, right? So what we will do is we will first select again this department. Okay, we'll select this also like this. Okay, and after that we'll go for on change method. Okay, so there are two ways like I can do it. I can use on method, or easy way if you want me to tell you is even you can go for change method like this. Okay, this is also I can take a change method. Okay, now whenever the user so is going to select, so let's have like some function here, and inside this functions we are going to write all the code. Okay, so we'll write all this code to be executed, all this code from here to here, all this code to be hit when the user is going to change anything from the drop down list. So here what I will do is I will take from here to here, I will cut it and I will paste here. Okay, so that's what we did it. Okay, now I want my let me copy this and let me paste here. Okay, so this is employee name, right? So this is our employee name drop down list. I'm selecting it. Now the question arises like, sir, why you are selecting that employee name drop down list, right? That's a question mark, right? Which you are thinking about it. This I'm doing it because I just want whenever I want it to become empty first. Okay. Why I'm trying to make it empty is, see, if I'm selecting any department and that employees I get it, right? Again, if I select another department, then another employees will come. So that employees will not be removed for me. It will be there, and again another employees are going to be appended for me. So for that purpose, I can use empty here. Okay. Now let's see the result first. Then we'll see like how it's going to happen. It's working or not till now. We will see it. Okay. So let's run this. All right. Okay. Yeah, we can see the EC is there, right? So let's reload this. Oh, it's not running for us. So let's run this. You can see this, we got like all the EC employees, right? Now what I want to do is I just want to select control P. I will do it here. Source I will go and I will click here index page, and I will see like what the result I will get it here. Okay. So I just want to check in the result what I am getting it. So I'm just clicking IT here, and you can see this, it's went to the Visual Studio, and let me come down here, and you can see this, we got some employees. Definitely we should get some employees. Okay. So in the result view, we have 2 employees, we got it. Okay, Manik and other people. Now we'll say like continue here, and when we do continue, so obviously here also we kept some breakpoint. So in that we got some result here. In that result we got like text Manik, value also we got it. And this is 0, one object we got it, and this is another object we got it. Text and value Pankaj. So this two objects we want to bind it to the another drop-down list. Okay. So for doing that, what we are going to do is, first of all, we'll go to our code. Okay. And what we'll do is we will use, see, in result, we are getting a lot of things, right? So let's say like continue first. We don't want to wait it. So yeah. Now we'll say dollar dot each method. Why it's not clicking here? Okay. Let me say dollar. Let me stop debugging here first. Let me close here. Let me come to index.html and let me go for dollar. Yeah, it's working now. Dollar dot each method I have it, which I can take it. This each method, first parameter is it's going to take array list of items. So I have array list of items, which you can see is that is result which I have, right? Which contain the collection of items. Now after that, it's saying me the callback function, right? So basically, we are trying to understand that we have like array list of items, then we need to take function. So this function, which we are going to take it here, or even another way also we can do it. So dollar dot each result we can say it, right? And after that, we will take simply one function in this way. Okay. So this function will ask me to give a property name, right? So that's what I'm going to give it here. That is, first is some index I and comma, and then I will say some employees. Okay. Or employee I will take it. Okay. Now after this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say open bracket and close bracket. Okay. So what the result is going to do is going to take, here we'll have 2 records. So one by one record is going to be passed to this employee. Now we are going to select this EMP name like this. And here, okay. So let me close this because I need to close it here like this. So here we started, here we closed. Okay. Now here we are going to paste here employee name. All right. So this is the, you're going to select it. And then we are going to write here append method. Append method, why we are going to do is we want to append to this drop down list. Okay. This employee name drop down list, it is empty, right? Now we are getting a data one by one record in the employee. So result, we are getting all the data. So from result, we are passing the value to the employee. So this employee will be appended. So here we are going to write some single code. And in that, we are just going to write option like this. We're going to write it. Okay. So in this option, we are going to write the ID. Okay. Two things we need to do it. One is that we are going to add ID. Another thing which we are going to do is the text we want to display it. So again and again, what we need to do is we want to add the things here. So value, I can take it like this. Okay. So in that value place, I can say in double quotes, or first I will take like double quote, single quote, plus. So I have employee, which I can take it. Okay. This is what employee I have taken. Now this employee, I will add some value. Of course, I was getting some value, right? That's what I want to take it. So plus, you can take it, single quote, double quote. Okay. Now after this, you are going to take some text. Okay. So how you're going to take text here? So for that purpose, you are going to write one more plus. Okay. And again, the single quote, you are going to write it here. Okay. Okay. And here you are going to write some option, and you're going to close like this. Okay. And like this, you're going to close it. Okay. Now here, what you need to write? Here you need to write some employee dot text. So this is what you're going to display it. Okay. So here we are going to take text here. I hope this is very simple. We have done almost everything is done. Now let's see like what we'll get it. Okay. Let's come back and we reload this. Okay. So let's run this. So until it comes, let me tell you guys, if you have not seen this binding of data out on a drop-down list, please see that. Then only we'll get all these things. Okay. I will again explain you, no problem. Now, ID, Manik, EC, Rajesh, Abhishek, and these three things. Okay. So I'm able to display the employees based on department. Okay. So let me explain you once again what is happening here. See, we have taken first step is we have taken a drop down list DPT where we are uploading all the departments here. And how we are getting the departments? We are getting a department like this: viewback.department equal to new select list db.departments dpt id department name. So with the help of this dpt, all the departments we are able to display uh, in our view page. Okay, the people who didn't know that how we got this db.departments, so please see the recording sessions which I shared you, like binding of data into the drop-down list. Okay. Then this is index method is loading this page and we are able to see it. Now again, we have taken another drop-down list where employee name we have defined it. So when we define employee name, the first parameter will be ID and name. Then comma, we have taken new select list where we are having empty because we don't want to show nothing here. So we are just writing string.empty. Okay. Then we are having like emp ID and emp name. Okay. So this is what value and this is what text we want to show it later part. Now, how we are going to bind to this drop-down list based on department ID is whenever the department is going to be on change for us. If we select EC or a department ID, so when he change anything, change event will fire. So first of all, what it does it will make empty this text drop down list, and then it will call Ajax call method. It will hit to the get employee method. So when it go to the get employee method, we are passing ID also. To pass any ID, we're using data ID. So whatever the department we have it, that selected value we are passing to this get employee method. So that's why it is going to this ID and giving us the departments, and then uh, it will catch that particular result. So type should be get request and data type should be JSON. So JSON way we are making a request, and then result will get a data. So dollar dot each is similar to like for each loop. So one result we are going to get in the employee, and one employee dot value, employee dot text, one by one we are going to append it to this employee name drop down list. Okay, this is what we are doing it. And here we just catch the ID, and we got employees based on ID, and we are just sending list of items, ID and employee name. Okay, so that's what we did it. So let's run this once again. You can see this, we got like EC here, and even will go for inspect element also. So we'll see that also here, source. Okay, and in that source we kept a breakpoint here, and here also we'll keep it to know like what are the things we are getting here as an ID, and even we already kept here also, right? So let's select ID. So you can see this what the value we are going to get it. So when I click here, this is the ID 3 I selected. IT is a 3. So based on 3 ID, it will give me the 2 employees from the database. Okay. In a result view, I got these 2 records. The 2 records I got it here as a result 2 you're seeing, right? So when we click here once again, okay. So let me click here. Now you can see this money we got it, right? And if I select here once again, EC, so let me click here, EC. Now you can see this, what we are sending there, 1. So from our database, we are going to send like 3 employees. Okay, now we'll go for continue. Now you can see this result we got 3. Now 3, when you send here, you will see this employee have like text and the value. Okay, even you can send selected property also which you want to select it. So even that also you can select it. Now if you want to send disabled property other things, that also you can select it. So one by one, every time, see Rajesh we got it there, right? And again if I say it, so it will add like Isha. Again if I say, then last is this another employee we have it, right? That also we got it. So continue last, then when you come here, you will see this Rajesh, Abhishek, Isha. So all these things we got it. So this is going to happen. This is how it's going to bind it. Okay. So I hope guys you have understood this particular code. It's very simple, very simple. Just you require to practice it. Okay. So thank you guys for uh, understanding these concepts. Okay. So we'll make it again next class. Okay. So please subscribe this so that you can get more recording videos of ASP.NET MVC core. And if you have any topic you want me to explain you, okay, please tell me. I will try to explain you all that topics also. Okay. Thank you.